YouTube, what is up? Happy Thursday. Man, I hope that everyone is having an incredible day, and I just wanted to take a moment to make some content to let you catch up with what is going on in my life. Last week I had the opportunity to travel to Mobile, Alabama, and just pour into some young adults and college students. So the weekend was crazy. Crazy mainly because of two things: the way that God moved and how horrific the travel was. So day one, we leave on Thursday. So my wife, myself, our 2-year-old Cannon, and our 1-year-old Lincoln were all traveling to Alabama. It was Lincoln's first time traveling, and Cannon has flown a lot, but just not in a while. Cannon will be 3 actually next month. We're really excited about that. But so we are all traveling. We have a midday flight around nap time, which was strategic and we thought was well thought out. First flight goes great, easy peasy. And then we get to Dallas Fort Worth, which has became my least favorite airport. But we did have a substantial layover, about 2.5 hours initially. That 2.5 hours turned into about 6 or 7 hours, and our flight that was supposed to leave at 8 didn't leave until 12:30 in the morning, and we landed in Mobile at 2:30 and didn't get to our hotel until almost 3. So if anybody out there is listening that has small children or has been around small children, I don't know about you, but for me and our family, we are very schedule based. My wife is. We are very routine based, and routines bring comfort, and that can be a good thing, but that can also be a bad thing if you break them, and then your discomfort, right? You create discomfort or you experience discomfort. And for our kiddos, they had a lot of discomfort, but man, they were really good. They were troopers, but it was tough. It was tough to sit in the airport for pretty much an entire day. There's only so much you can do. Like after you eat dinner, and there's only so much CoComelon you can watch until my son gets bored. He likes to go. He likes to be outside. He likes to be doing things. He likes to be doing things with his hands. Playing, whatever. So we brought some toys, but a lot of like his stuff he normally does, he likes playing on the slide, or likes playing with like these like huge Legos, or reading like his all of his books. And we only brought 3 books, so those got old real quick, but we made it, and it was an incredible weekend. So we started off the weekend. Hope and I shared. So my wife and I were both taking part in this, and my wife and I, we shared at a coffee shop just a quick overview of what God has done in our life, what God is doing in our life, and how we believe it's important to share our story and some of the practical takeaways of things that we have learned, growing in our relationship with Christ, surrendering to Him being sovereign and being the catalyst, the proxy for all that we do, and just what that process looked like, and how purity and how obedience is a quintessential part of that, and how we have not always, we're not perfect, and there's been times where I have failed, and I think it's important to be vulnerable and transparent with people that, my story is not one of I left the adult film industry and then I became a Christian and my life was perfect. Like, that's just not my story. when I left the industry, I had tremendous mental and emotional trauma, and I had a lot of bad habits. I had a lot of lies that I had believed for a very long time, and through working through them with counseling, with talking through them with people who I trusted, having honest, open, transparent conversations with people on a consistent basis, and allowing the Word of God to change my mind on an intellectual basis, but also allowing that truth to permeate into my heart. Because it's one thing to know something, but when those thoughts, or what you know, becomes feelings, and those feelings become action on a consistent basis, that is how you change. So for me, I had to change a lot of thought processes. I created a plausible reality based on what I was doing, and the things that I had done had impacted how I saw myself, how I saw other people, and how I saw the world. And that's the danger of watching adult content. It changes the way you see yourself, it changes the way you see people, and it changes the way that you see the world, because you are watching a plausible reality that is not real. So when you believe a lie to be true, your mind tells you that that is true, and your actions are indicative of that truth, whether it is real or not. If you follow your feelings instead of facts, which I believe the Bible provides definitive truth when it comes to what is real, how we were meant to live and act and treat each other and worship God. So for me, I had to change a lot of things. So I just shared some of that stuff. I shared my struggles, and I shared the processes, and I shared the persecution that in contrast to people worshiping God in different countries that are actually facing legitimate persecution. My story pales in comparison. I got some hate on social media, and I've lost some friendships and job opportunities, but I never was in danger for my life. So while it may have hurt my feelings, and I do face persecution in that regard on a consistent basis, basically every day, God has been very good to me, and I have never been endangered in regard to my life, because I'm a follower of Jesus, and I thank God for that He has placed me logistically in a place where I can worship God freely and safely. But we shared at a coffee shop, and then the next day we went to the beach. The staff of the church that we were ministering to, someone within the church had a beach